Okay, so let me start again. I've started this video like twice already. But yeah, I wanted to talk about what is the reason behind me starting my spiritual journey. I actually started around 8 to 9 years ago because I remember that during middle school and high school especially, I would not fit in. I was mostly like I had a lot of victim mentality. I would complain a lot, I would have a lot of negative thoughts, and I did not like that. I did not like that at all because I could see where my life was going and I knew that there had to be more. I knew that there had to be more on quality of life, and I knew that I was the one in charge of it. Like, who else am I supposed to who else is supposed to take charge of my life if not myself? So I really wanted, first of all, to make a better life for myself. But how did that happen? Because yes, I had a lot of negative thoughts, but you know what? I was so much involved in anything that was happening to me. Like, somebody could say something mean to me and I would take it to heart. I did not have any self-confidence, so of course anything that other people did or say mattered to me, and that would make me feel very insecure. I was taking everything to heart, and I was having this victim mentality and complaining a lot about anything that was happening in my life, really. So I realized that I had to do more researches about spirituality, and I remember that at the time I started to watch Infinite Waters, which is one of the, I think, one of the oldest channels about spirituality. But I can say that my main purpose was not to feel like that again anymore because I wanted to be in control. Life is also an experience of letting things flow, but still know that you have the power to um, direct your life into the direction that you want. So I think it's about balance between flowing and controlling. So I remember that I promised to myself that I was not going to stop until my life, my quality of life was going to be the one that I wanted, until I was satisfied with my life. And I'm still in the process, but I can say that I've really changed a lot. And in my case, it was a long journey because I really had to understand things applied to myself. I had to learn about that, and I had to learn about my limiting beliefs. I had to learn about my traumas and things to solve because as they pretty much are in your subconscious, of course they're not the easiest thing to find out. Yes, you can, because based on how you're living life, you do get some suggestions or some tips about what you need to work on. And actually, um 8 years ago, around 8 years ago, I was not sure about what the truth was. But when I still had no idea on how to make my life better, I remember that I was looking for answers out there. And while I was still in South Korea, for a while, I attended Christianity classes, Bible study classes, and for a little bit, by how they were talking to me, how those people were talking to me, I kind of thought that that could have been the answer. But then as time passed by and they were more obsessive and there were things that you were not allowed to do, there were things that you were supposed to follow. So at that time I told myself that didn't make me feel good, and I was like, I don't think this is it. I don't think I'm here just to be a pawn. So I was like, nah, this cannot be it. This is like such a limited view. I soon realized that that was not the way. You know why? Because it would make me feel awful. whatever thing they were teaching, it would just not resonate with me. So I knew that I had to go deeper into the teachings of spirituality, because I was so at that time I was kind of debating whether I knew about the law of attraction before I got into that Bible study thing, but you know, I would still question things because I didn't know the truth. I didn't know what the answer to life was, so I was testing things out. I started to experiment more on the law of attraction, and that at the very first stages, I would see results quite fast. And you know why? Because I had I had no expectations. I didn't have any prior experience, so I would just listen to success stories from other people. I would just experiment myself. What I was doing in the very first stages of my law of attraction journey was paying attention to my thoughts and see how they were reflecting into my world. I actually had an experience even before I knew about the law of attraction, but that experience was so it happened so fast, and it happened in a way that it really kind of made me let me tell you, like, long story short, what happened. I think that I was in high school, second year, so I was 15 or 16, I don't know. And I remember that I really liked this one guy, and we were supposed to go on a trip together, and I'm not gonna go too much into details, but I really liked this guy and he didn't know. And while we were on a trip, I kind of envisioned a scenario in my mind during the all day long. I would envision it. I wouldn't stress over it. I didn't even know what I was doing. It just was like such a natural scene that I would repeat in my mind, and I loved to be into that scene. And I remember that I would feel so good about imagining that particular scene. I kept seeing it like over and over, and at the same time I was like, I know this is gonna happen, I know this is gonna happen, and it was so natural. I was not forcing it, it just felt so natural to me. And I remember that actually the day was over and I went to sleep. But you know what, I went to sleep quite early, and then uh and then I got up, I woke up because I heard a knocking on my door, and I went to open. No, I think that my other friends, which I share the room with, they opened the door and it was that guy, and then the scene that I had in my mind played out. So even though I envisioned it for all day long, if I knew about conscious manifestation, maybe I would have stressed out that by the end of the day it wasn't going to happen. But you know what? I had no idea about manifestation. So I went to sleep feeling very normal. I was not upset. I was not discouraged by the fact that the thing that I saw in my mind didn't happen, because I never manifested anything consciously. And it happened, and when it happened I was like, no way, like, this really happened, this is exactly how I envisioned it. That's pretty much it. So that was my first conscious manifestation, when I didn't even know about the law of attraction, and I manifested it on the same day. So I knew nothing about it and it still happened. And then later on, when I learned about the law of attraction, I basically started to put a lot of pressure on myself, and I would have a lot of expectations. But with my first conscious manifestations, I really had nothing to compare, you know, because I had no experience on it whatsoever. So I just heard of success stories from other people and I knew that I could manifest. So I really got results very fast. I think that it took me, like, to get my very first text message from somebody that I had broken up with, it only took me 2 weeks. I also manifested a third party. I actually manifested a third party, and I actually manifested the text message that I wanted. So I was such a fast manifester. I do recognize this. I am aware of this. I was such a good manifester. I was such a fast manifester. And these days I'm trying to tap into that again, and I'm telling you that life has been good lately. If your goal is like me, to make your life better, to not be a victim to circumstances, to live a good life and not just complain about it, because you do make the difference. You do have a choice in here. Everything is up to you. You just need to realize how to make it work. It can be a huge it can be seen as a huge responsibility, but it can also be seen as a huge relief, because you can just create whatever thing you want to create, because you can create whatever, anything. Okay, and that's it for today. Let me know in the comments, how did you start your journey with spirituality? What was your driving force? What pushed you to become the person that you are now, or the person that you're working to be? So let me know. And I can feel dust in the air. Anyway, thank you for watching. Why did I whisper? Anyway, that's it. Bye.